And hello, are we live?
And we're live.
We're live. Howdy. How you guys doing?
Hello, PlanetSide 2.
All right. So, welcome to our Critical Mass live stream. Today we're going to be going over the results of the playtests that we ran recently and how the results of those sort of guided some of our decisions on how we're going to be implementing the meltdown alert system that's going live right now, and how we might make some changes to it in the future.
It's literally going live right now.
Right now.
Right now. Like, you can't play the game, so hopefully you're just watching the stream.
Yep. And we're also going to be going over some of the other details of the update today, as well as teasing you guys on some of the upcoming stuff for the Halloween event and just maybe a little bit extra. If you stick to the very end, we got a little sort of gift to share with everybody. And we're also going to be doing raffles throughout the entire live stream. And for this one, you will have to enter a keyword to enter the raffle. But just a warning before you guys start spamming chat with stuff. If you enter the keyword more than 3 times, it disqualifies you from the raffle.
Mm-hmm. So just put it in once. You should be good to go.
Yes.
The system is very good, so you'll be in it.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So we're going to start it off, though. We'll do a raffle immediately.
Mm-hmm.
The first keyword is going to be, let's see, can people guess it? Bang raffle. You enter bang raffle, but don't do that more than 3 times.
I never heard the term bang.
Yeah, I don't know why
you
exclamation mark.
Yeah.
I know an interrobang is like the one that's like a question mark. No, but this is
so
just
exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
Wait,
And then
exclamation point is what I call bang. Sorry.
And then the, what, critical mass?
But don't give away.
So it's not critical mass.
So it's not critical
No.
mass. No,
Okay.
it is raffle.
Yes, it's bang raffle.
It's bang raffle. Jesus.
Exclamation point raffle. Just don't enter that more than 3 times,
Yeah.
and you guys should be good to go. So let's go ahead and get kicked off here. Let's see.
So we can talk about the results of the first playtest.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it over to Rel, and he's going to talk a little bit about the results of the
All right,
playtest.
ladies and gentlemen. All right, so over the past couple of weeks, actually 2 weeks ago, we ran a playtest, the first playtest for the Critical Mass update, and that had, thank you, always so helpful. So we ran a test on the Meltdown style alert system, which is something new that's coming to the game, literally coming to the game right now.
Literally right now.
Literally right now. And for those who missed how that whole shebang works, definitely go check out the old live stream or just read the patch notes and you'll get the gist of it. But over the last playtest, we basically set it up. So the first playtest, sorry, we basically set it up for the worst possible situation we could. So like TR was way overextended. They had the least population, and we did that deliberately to see just the player reaction and how.
Would it make sense to just quickly go over it since
Sure,
it doesn't take too long?
Yeah. So the alert styles, well, once you trigger the alert.
So the way that we're going to lock continents now, instead of just having VP that all of a sudden now your continent's done, go to the next one, whatever. That's very sudden and doesn't really give a good finale to the battle that you've been fighting for on this continent. As it goes, when you reach a certain threshold of territory, and hives as well, if you refine enough cordium, it will launch the meltdown event for your faction.
And specifically for your faction. So once you launch the event, it is your turn to defend territory up to a certain percentage. And the territory control required right now is 41% to trigger the alert, and then you are allowed to, well, rather you have to have more than 36% territory to actually win.
So 41% and full cordium refinement. That'll trigger it for your faction. And then you have, what is the time now? The duration now.
Yep. So the duration, so during the last 2 live playtests, we had an hour-long duration, and it had been mentioned either in my videos and like posts and that sort of thing that the duration of the alert is something that we could use as a tuning knob. And actually, you'll see on live that the duration is different now. It's 30 minutes opposed to an hour-long alert. But yeah, so the first...
So after 30 minutes, it'll it'll check to see what the territory control is like. And if you have at least 35, 36%, the faction, what was it, 36?
Yeah, 36.
36. The faction that started the alert, if they have 36, they win the continent.
Right.
There's some fantastic fanfare. The continent is locked. They get the bonus just like you normally would with conquering. And some of the lovely prizes that are built into the system now.
And again, if you want to, like, I don't want to spend too much time on explaining the nitty-gritty, but you can go look that up. The last 2 playtests, though. So the first one we did was worst situation possible, and we wanted to see how the players would react, and it, you know, understandably made people not so happy. But that was our testing, and even though
stressing the system for the worst possible situation.
Yeah, so we realized that the test server is for testing. So
it is for testing.
We do have some ulterior motives when we do these sorts of things. But the second playtest, which happened last Friday, or this past Friday.
Before you go to the second playtest, you want to go over who won the
so,
first playtest?
So during...
one of the things that was done for that, someone on Reddit posted, hey, for this playtest, you should have Paul color his mohawk the color of the victors. So what ended up happening?
Well, the TR lost horribly. NC came in second place, and the VS kind of dominated absolutely everything. So as promised, we have a very matted... It doesn't look that bad. No, it doesn't. No, it looks fine.
The green screen, if you guys are seeing some blue popping out there, that's actually the green coming through the purple. But that he has a very purple mohawk.
It's a purple mohawk. Must be nice to take that hat off.
Yeah, it's a little bit warm.
Yeah,
I haven't worn a hat in like the longest time.
It was like a completely different person throwing that on this morning. So after the first play test, in which you have your reward, enjoy it. How long are you going to keep the purple for?
Usually it sticks around for about a month before I have to re-dye it. I'll touch it up after a couple weeks, but you know, I like the color. We'll see what happens. I'm still true to NC, but you know, the VS, they have some very compelling arguments.
Yeah, they have some very compelling spandex.
It's very compelling.
So the second play test that we did, this was past Friday. We ran, actually, it was a couple of tests. So one lasted for an hour, and it was done with the most populated faction, and they had the most territory as well. So TR ran that, and about at the 30-minute mark, like they were holding pretty strong. About at the 30-minute mark, it was like flipping a switch, and they just got dumpstered. So... Right, that's kind of part of...
the other two factions sort of rallied their troop, they disengaged from what they were doing. That seems to be the critical point, at least for that one.
Right, so whether the disengaging happens because of the natural flow of players, or just what they're naturally doing, is like, God, this is hard to explain. On test server, we have more dedicated players, more active players who are attuned with what we're trying to accomplish on the test server. So how this plays out on live might be a little different, and we're kind of looking forward to seeing how that operates, because when outfits on test server could have just been biding their time, just like pushing back, making a buffer, and just like screwing around basically for until that 30-minute mark, and then they just decide to actually take action against the other faction. So that's something that we want to understand if that's just an intentional player behavior, especially when you throw the 50%-ish unorganized, unsquatted, unoutfitted players into the mix, or if it's just naturally that they're fighting and the rhythm does get broken, and then it just kind of piles on the second faction. So we did talk about that actually, and just to kind of elaborate, the second playtest that we did at the same later that night. It went for 30 minutes, and the NC, who were defending, actually won that playtest. So, kind of, and the goals were stated up front. The time limit wasn't there. It still showed an hour, but it was constantly reiterating that we're only going for 30 minutes. So, yeah, the results were very different. So, very interested to see how that that plays out on live.
No, and as we are planning, we're going to be paying close attention to what happens on live as this is again literally being patched right now.
Right.
To see how some of the fights are shaking down and tweaking with a couple different things. We have a couple different ideas banked as to how to adjust the system should it need adjustment.
Yeah, and
it
we're
needs adjustment, and we will be making adjustments. But
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We this is a system that we plan to iterate on, and whether or not it just becomes more like a victory lap for players, opposed to. Sorry, I didn't. That probably surprised you. It like the system right now should be better than what we have online. I feel like. Bar none. It's just it works better. The VP was confusing and like
it's a much more cleaner. It's a cleaner, more elegant system. It celebrates like all the cool things that you love about PlanetSide.
So the focus now then is to just make sure that the 2v1 situation feels not horrible to play against, and actually we want to kind of empower players. I'm reading chat questions and.
Yeah, so
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine. No, so whether if it gets to be the case where locking or starting this alert gives you a lot of security and it's pretty regular that the one who locks it will the one that starts it will lock the continent. At that point, it becomes a race to see who can get there fastest. If it's more of a contentious fight, then it becomes more about like using that duration wisely.
Right.
So there's a lot of things we're going to be looking to see how things shake out, and various ideas we have.
We're going to keep track of how often the continents lock and
what the factions are like at that time.
Right. What the territory percentages are and the population percentages. We're going to just be kind of granular in our take on that and see what can be adjusted. And then, of course, we're responding to all feedback. We want you to give feedback. Please just go throw it on the forums, throw it on Reddit, throw it on Twitter, and that sort of thing. What else came out during the update? Just some changes,
a few adjustments to some of our vehicles.
Yeah.
I think we're calling it our Combined Arms Initiative. So look, a few tiny little
There's a footnote. I know we didn't talk about it a whole lot.
So yeah, this is something that was started before. We've been working on it for a while. We've been the design team has been hard at work, sort of finding values that make sense. Before the patch notes, at least on test were very detailed, very granular.
Yeah, too much so.
Problematically so.
Right. So as we actually, I'm going to come back to. I do want to answer a question that got asked earlier. Yeah. So before we jump into the Combined Arms discussion, which you're all super excited about, somebody asked if 30 minutes is enough to get organized for the duration of an alert. So I think at the outfit level, it's really going to depend on how aware or how present these outfits are in relation to how the territory sets up before the alert, and then they'll be able to jump right on it. So it won't just be like alert triggers. Oh, hey, an alert is happening. Let's.
Chances are the outfit's going to be involved already.
Right. Yeah, before the fact, and we want you fighting throughout the entirety of the continent. That's kind of the point to some of this, and it does play into some long-term goals that we have. So,
plus, if that does end up being like a very quick duration, as far as like players are concerned, that gets them really excited when they notice it. If they log in, there's an alert, and they go, "Oh, I gotta jump in! I gotta get there!"
For sure. Yeah.
That's we want players to be excited.
Yeah, and I think there's a balance to be had. So
absolutely.
I mean, if 30 minutes is too low, and again we'll keep an eye on it, then we'll push it out, but not maybe not towards the hour mark. Maybe that doesn't make sense.
So before you talk a little bit more about Combined Arms,
sure.
Let's do another raffle. So for the next raffle, the keyword will be bang or exclamation point Mohawk. So just type that into chat. Don't spam it, or else you'll get disqualified.
See, a dash is tack.
Tack?
You say tack in the military when you're.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you're going through the whatever
syntax.
Phonetics. Yeah, it's like you'll say like this tack, whatever. But bang is new to me.
Bang is new to me.
Super new to me.
Like I said, I know there was a couple of friends of mine were in Taro Bang, which was a very prominent TF2 clan or guild or whatever. And that is a symbol that's a combination of a question mark and an exclamation mark. That's what an interrobang is. But I've never heard bang.
Okay.
Yeah, I just
fair.
know bang.
Hey
is
man,
the
it's
blaze
okay.
of the fighter.
Okay.
We can just make fun of you a little bit. That's fine.
We'll get to the questions
like it. I'm gonna use it.
near the end. Let's get through the combined arms stuff.
All right, let's slog through this.
Yeah.
So the Combined Arms initiative, basically, the update that's going live right now is completely change. That's going to distract me. Is going to completely change how vehicle play works in our game, and hopefully it won't be too disruptive. We did overall we increased the time to kill of vehicle-to-vehicle combat, and as some of the more dedicated vehicle players don't feel super comfortable with that, but I think that overall we just want you to give the system a try and kind of see what shakes out. And if it doesn't feel good, for the majority of players, then we can make adjustments. We're completely willing to make adjustments to all of this, and we've been iterating on feedback, but we don't want it to stop. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Is that the expression?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's changes that we want to do that are a bit more dramatic, and so we are just in general, and we want the community to be willing to try them out, give them a chance, really put it through its paces, and give us good feedback based off of that. I know it's easy and fun to react to change with negatively, but
We fear change.
Well, yeah, people don't like change,
Yeah.
but change is for the better when it is good change.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Pre-qualifying the positive.
I know,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
No, yeah,
like,
absolutely. So yeah, we don't want to. We want to be able to take risks. This is, I mean, actually the I want to say excuse, but it's like the rationale or the argument is just like, oh, the game's too old. Why are you doing these changes now? And honestly, if at the end of the day, if we feel that it makes the game better for the most players, and even if the super dedicated players, if we're not going to completely
alienate
alienate them, disrespect those players, I think that it's good. Like most of those hardcore players will take the time to adapt, right? And obviously you don't want to have like these complete you don't want to uproot things nonstop, but at the same time change is important. And especially, I would say, on an older game, actually.
Gives you a fresh perspective to the gameplay. It sort of changes the interactions between vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to air, which are, I guess, technically vehicles still, but infantry as well. It changes the way the meta shakes down.
Yeah.
That's very exciting for a lot of players.
I think so, too. So, yeah, we'll definitely see how it shakes out. And, again, feedback, thorough feedback, concise feedback is
helpful, constructive feedback.
Right, is great.
But just by playing the game, you guys are providing us feedback. We are tracking just everything you could possibly think of.
Lots
as
of
far
data.
As, so it's basically what vehicles everyone's using, what weapons are killing which vehicles are being killed the most. Like there's a lot of data for us to pour over, and
Big Brother is watching.
Yes. So just play the game evolve how you're going to play based on the changes.
Put it through its paces, and give us feedback on how you feel about it.
And let's do another raffle.
Okay.
This one, the keyword is going to be bang combined arms. So you just type in bang combined arms, don't spam it, and you should be good to go.
So one of the things that we, since we're on the topic of combined arms, there are a number of vehicle-related bugs that we want to address, and actually one that's kind of fun and interesting is that, can we go to Nick's screen? It's reported a lot as a terrain issue, actually, when we get bug reports. But this is something that we're able to repro. It's not 100% repro, which is what makes it infuriating.
Yeah, it's tricky to test.
Yeah, but
so to explain what's going on the screen, we have the physics, the actual model collision objects in game being displayed in this pink wireframe right now. What has happened is, due to a mysterious circumstances, a second physics turret is attached and flopping around wildly.
Yep.
You saw just a moment ago how the bug appears to players. Occasionally, you will run over said turret, and it'll either jostle your tank a bit, or in the worst cases, and the most disruptive cases, it will flip.
Get wrecked. Get wrecked.
How are you good at
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
Oh,
we've done this twice now. Well, you're in the warp gate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So if you're not in the warp gate, you flipping it over like this will cause it to explode.
Last time. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm excited about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Last time we were reproing this.
Can you jump out real quick?
Literally talked about flipping the vehicle, and then Nick miraculously flipped it with his amazing.
Oh, see, there it goes. So that's what normally happens
Yeah.
when you do that outside of the warp gate.
Except you end up losing a bunch of nanites. And then,
Right, exactly.
people
And
aren't happy.
that's no good. We don't want that to happen to the players. So we are hard at work trying to reproduce it and fix it and find out why it's happening to stop it from happening in the first place.
Yeah.
But this is just a bit of a taste of the day-to-day of PlanetSide 2 development.
Right.
Finding weird things and seeing how we can stop them from happening.
It's so weird though. It's one of the more interesting bugs.
Yeah, it took us. We were set up beforehand. It took us maybe 15 minutes to get it reproduced in the first place.
Yeah, we
just
were
before
starting
we
to
went live.
We didn't think we were going to be able to reproduce it in time, and we were like, damn it, we should have recorded a video of it.
Yeah. So I can talk a little bit about how physics exists within our game, and
Sure.
So how important it is to PlanetSide.
So speaking of that, when people talk about physics in our game, they're usually referring to the particle effects and everything else. So they're like, bring physics back. But it's important to know just that physics is what?
Physics is a software suite essentially that physically simulates things. So a lot of times companies will use it for the like you said, the particle system that it has. But for PlanetSide 2, we use it for the physics itself. The physics of your character moving around, gravity, the way the jump jets interact with your character, and the tanks. I can't remember if all of the bullets or some of the bullets are based on physics.
Yeah,
but
dynamic bullets. Actually, so
like
rocket
rockets?
launchers,
Yeah.
and thrown grenades, those are all physics objects, whereas the other projectiles are just normal ballistic calculations.
Yeah, it's a different system within the code.
Right.
So everything that's moving around in the game is physics for the most part. So it's really important to PlanetSide because you wouldn't have tanks without it.
Right.
At the very, you wouldn't have vehicles.
Yeah.
In the way that they are.
So that's a nice little lesson.
Here, I'll get one of the questions out of the way right now that I'm seeing on the screen. So.
Oh yeah. So there's a question wondering about how our progress of PlayStation 4 implants is going.
Yeah, you can throw it back on my screen. It's a quick screenshot.
Yeah.
So
work in progress. But
yeah. Just so the PS4 people know, there they are. It's we've got implants working on the loadout screen. I'm currently working on the actual purchase flow for the implants, but you guys will be seeing it in the next update. We absolutely need to get this in there because we want to bring Meltdown, the new critical mass update to PS4 as soon as possible, and that involves getting these ISO rewards out to you guys and the entire implant system.
Also involves doing more UI work on the PS4 side of the Meltdown headers and that sort of thing, so we can.
For those of you who have not played both
got that question out of the way.
PlayStation and the PC version of PlanetSide 2, the UIs look completely different. You have a different set of controls, so it makes sense that you would interact with the game in a different way. So working with both systems is tricky sometimes.
Oh yeah,
having to implement something in
Doubles
both.
especially the purchase flow stuff. So okay, let's do one more raffle, and we'll do this one. We'll make it the Bang Critical Mass. We didn't use that one yet, right?
Nope.
We just said
we
that
just
one
spoiled
earlier.
it.
Yeah,
We just spoiled it at the start.
We mentioned it earlier.
So
It was a secret hint.
enter it now. Don't
was a
spam
hint.
it.
Yep, it was a completely
get a chance
intentional
to
hint.
win.
Totally.
Yep.
So what's coming up next?
So actually, could we show off some of the new implants?
Oh yeah. Let me pop up the screen here. So we won't show off all the implants today that we're going to be coming in the next wave, but there's some that we're especially excited about. We're going to be introducing faction-specific implants in the next wave of implants.
Yeah.
I already have one of them highlighted here. So they're showing, all of them are showing up here for my VS character, but this is the one that's going to be specific to VS. So all of them have a sort of a flavor to them. They're squad-based ones.
Yep.
For this one, it's basically every time you get a kill, you have a chance to activate it. And if it does activate, you get this little burst of time where you and all of your squad mates that are within 15 meters get a sort of reduction in your cone of fire.
More accurate.
Yeah. So it'll drive a certain style of gameplay for VS players that are interested in this implant, where you can sort of mid-range it a little bit more and just be much more deadly from mid to long range.
Yeah, actually, the cone of fire reduction is it's the minimum cone of fire, which means the cone of fire that you have before you start firing. So while aiming down sights is not like super helpful, but from the hip it'll be more helpful. Actually, in weapons that are generally inaccurate while aiming down sights, it'll help them more as well. Words. But as Nick pointed out, this affects your entire squad. So percent chance effects are not super fun as an individual, but the intention of doing some of these squad-based things is that you have a number of you have multiple players using it, and then
if you kit out your whole squad with it, it's going to be a more regular occurrence.
Right. Yeah.
So let's move. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. It's going to be the TR-based one. It's probably the one I'm the most excited about.
It's pretty cool.
So basically, same deal. You get a chance to activate this every time you get a kill, and then at the highest level, it's every time you get an experience tick. There's a 2% chance.
And that's with the VS one as well. All three of these have that
all the
experience.
But what I really like about this one is it really embraces the TR like DACA mentality, and when it
all the lead. All the bullets, all the time.
When it activates, you basically your ammo costs go to nothing. So everyone can just open up and you don't have to worry about reloading or any of your ammo being eaten up. As long as you guys are racking up kills, basically
you can just keep
throwing bullets.
Just throw that lead down the range.
So it'd be kind of interesting in point hold situations. Less reliance on engineers, or breaching rather, and actually there's a lot of synergy with some of the TR weapons. So just like the T7 mini chain gun, you have a few guys walking into a room like that and just holding down the trigger for long periods of time. Could be super fun. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. Some of the durations might end up getting increased, the percent chances of affecting, or the chance on
these
kill
are, as we work in progress numbers. We did have a question about whether these implants would stack. I assume they mean like the effects of it, or if it just makes it happen more often.
So every time the effect triggers, it basically takes the old effect away and then puts a new one on with a refresh duration. So it doesn't stack in that.
Yeah, you wouldn't get more and more and more accuracy, but it would extend the duration. You get you fire bullets, you gain ammo. That'd be cool.
Boomerang back into the weapon.
It sort of resets the timer.
Right.
That's good. We
So
should have a weapon like that.
Every time someone in your squad or near you activates it, it sort of resets that timer. So you could keep it going, but it's not going to stack like the effects of it, like they're saying.
Yeah.
The last one is for the NC, and this one is also pretty cool. Same deal. A percent chance of activation, but for this one you get a sort of a increased resistance to damage coming from one direction. So
frontal armor,
So basically, it really encourages players to
rush in,
push. Yeah. So it would be great for sort of a squad full of people with shotguns. It would be a really neat sort of thing to see them all sort of pushing forward with that damage resistance. So
just really break that fortified area. Just like get in there and cause havoc.
So that's sort of the ones we're most excited about right now.
There are a couple of new ones coming as well that I just want to touch on real quick. The Assassin implant is actually, the reason that this exists, honestly, is to return the marker implant to the game. So actually, this ranks up, but you have a percent chance on kill to clear a spot in the Dorito above your head after you kill somebody. And if you get a headshot, it's 100% chance. So it's you remove the RNG. At max rank, though, it allows anytime you deal damage, it'll mark a target, and that's where the old marker implant comes into play. So that I think a lot of people will be excited about returning, because it was a good implant, but we just didn't have a great place to put it.
We had another question pop up. This is in regard to the Fortify one for whether or not Maxes would gain that additional frontal armor.
Maxes do not benefit from this at all. Actually, neither do vehicles.
So that note isn't in the implant info, but it will be added. Good catch.
Is that for all 3 of these implants that
All
we've
3
been
of the
talking about?
implants. That's
Okay,
right.
so maxes are not affected.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, talking a little bit about bringing back some of the gameplay that was in before with the implants to now Assassin. We'll cover some of
Right.
that.
So Assassin is one of them. Actually, you know what? The other ones are just they're super new. So no more returns to old. Because I think actually we get that. I think we have all of the old implants in the game now in some form or another. Marker I think was the last one. So good on that side.
Some
But
cool new
yeah.
faction-specific implants.
Yeah, we could be here a while longer covering the other.
Yeah, there's a
implants.
handful of other ones, but we won't spoil that just yet.
Yeah. So this is part of our drive to use the implants to like bring more interesting or bring some new and interesting gameplay and options to the players.
Yeah.
What sort of things do you think would be cool? What sort of things are VS things or TR things or NC things?
Yeah.
What do you think would be really cool about that? I encourage you to post that on the forums or on Reddit, and we will be paying attention to that and seeing what cool ideas you guys come up with.
Yeah.
Anytime we can inject faction-specific flavor is good, especially if it's relatively inexpensive to do, like new faction weapons, which
They're coming.
they're on the way, are generally more expensive in that they take more time for us.
More time, more development. There's already a lot of they have less direct impact sometimes.
But implants is one of those really inexpensive things that we can kind of kick out. So if you do have ideas, things that you want to see in the game, like Paul said,
being a part, feeling like I'm a part of the NC is like important. It's like I want to feel like I'm like really like winning it for my faction, and that's part of what the Meltdown stuff does. You know, these changes they make it feel like you're really pushing it towards, especially because they're wonderfully color coded. that helps a lot, but.
Color coding involved.
So do we want to kick it over to talking about the Halloween stuff?
Yes.
Okay, right before we do that, though, we'll do one more giveaway, and the code for this one is going to be Bang Meltdown. So go ahead and type that in chat. Don't spam it. You'll get disqualified. And
what is Bang's theme song?
Bang Shishigami?
Yeah.
From BlazBlue. It's very notable. I couldn't sing it for you because I'm terrible.
Well, I'm gonna go look it up after.
So we've been working hard to add some new stuff to the game for the Halloween event this year, and we're excited. There's some new directives and some new items, and Michael will show them off to us.
Yeah,
so go ahead and kick it over to Michael's monitor.
You teleport to my character.
Yes, I can.
Username is Rel.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about. You've seen this a couple times already, but we did completely change the Halloween directive. And for those who don't know, every year we do some Halloween-related fun times, and pumpkins will spawn.
Spooky, scary pumpkins
all
over the map.
You can wear pumpkins on your head up here. Actually, that's the Ichabod crown here is free for everybody. You get it by default. And we sell some fun spooky items and that sort of thing. But this year, we've added a little bit more. We've refreshed the Halloween Directive. Now it's Halloween Directive 2.
Engineers are demolitions experts.
Sorry, I had to switch factions so you could attack me.
So moving through the new directive, there's a whole bunch of different things, ways that you can complete it. And instead of relying so much on pumpkins, as we have in the past, it's more of an optional feat here. So the first directive is Vengeful Spirit. Basically, you're required to kill people with melee attacks, either with Vampire or Nightmare equipped. And Vampire is a very easy implant to get. But let's see, what else? Resupply ribbons with Halloween Mask equipped. That's going to be an easy one to, because you get a Halloween Mask by default, so you can kind of jump on that.
Necromancer, that candy.
Yeah, is Necromancer. You revive people with Halloween Mask equipped, and Headless Horseman is kills from a flash while wearing a Halloween Mask or helmet. That'll be holy terror with Wraith cloaked flashes. And Hallow Hunter is going to be using any Halloween weapon to get kills on targets. So that's the slasher, the Auraxium slasher, the candy cannon, and a new kind of little toy that everybody's going to get to play with. So, pumpkin grenades. We can equip pumpkin grenades and toss them at Nick. Where's Nick?
I'm nearby.
Are you?
He's hit. Oh, geez.
Oh, Jesus. My sensitivity's all jacked up. Okay.
Oh, nice throw.
Thanks,
there.
Nick. Back in the face.
Now, why don't you try hitting me?
Oh my God.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. So actually, you have God on, don't you?
I do.
You're a jerk.
Okay, it's turned off. It's turned off.
Okay.
No longer
So,
invincible.
Okay. The actually the projectiles are coming from the right hand right now, which is the old style that we used to throw grenades with. So you'll see that I'm
at
slightly
close
offset.
range here, it's a little bit tricky. But
Yeah. We can recenter the projectile. It looks kind of funny. So I was didn't even break sweat. So yeah, pumpkin grenades are going to be consumable items that you can either use pumpkin seeds for and purchase them that way, or you can use Daybreak Cache as well.
So you get pumpkin seeds by finding some of these pumpkins that are hidden around. They actually look like this on screen. So
Super
so
spooky.
spooky.
Those spooky pumpkins.
You can find those dotted all over the map. If you
Yep.
find them, you blow them up. Use those gun tools to get some, like what? How many seeds do you get per?
You get about you get roughly 8 from the smaller pumpkins, and then there's large galacto-lanterns hidden around the map. Yeah, and they actually, I think they give you a golden hood ornament as well.
Oh, cool.
Could be wrong. I can't remember. But yeah, hunt those out. They're small, but kind of the point of some of the changes to the update is to give you something fresh. I mean, it's been this is going to be our what, 4th?
Yes, it'll be our
Nanite
4th.
of the living.
Yes, I'm very excited about it because all great B horror movies reach their 4th and 5th and 6th iterations, and this is number 4 for Nanite of the Living Dead.
Nanite of the Living Dead.
So it's only going to keep getting better. But
Okay.
yes, this is Nanite of the Living Dead 4.
Nanites of the Living Dead 4. The re-naniting.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can purchase the grenades with seeds. You can get bonus experience from the seeds, and again, if you have any of the Halloween stuff, which I don't have equipped right now, but
have the
you have
slasher?
the mask on, don't you?
oh right, but the Halloween weapons. Sorry,
Oh,
we'll
right,
give
the
you these
Halloween
ribbons
weapons.
as well. So yeah, and I think it's what 10 kills per ribbon. God, that is way out there. We'll change that.
You'll
fix
be able
that.
to look at in
Yeah.
in the directives tab like you were looking at before to see what your progress is and
For sure.
what things are available. So there's a couple tiers to that.
Yeah. So the directive, again, it's completely new. So there's 5 ways to complete these things. It only takes you 3 on the first rank. To get it second tier, you're going to get a novice implant pack. Nice and easy. It's again, really easy to complete the other starters. So there's some basically free implants for you if you just participate. And then the third tier, the expert tier here, is actually, it requires 4, but you get the Horseman title, which
Me, Horseman Rel.
yeah, Horseman Rel. And then the last year we actually have something kind of fun. An implant. An exceptional implant.
A fun one.
A fun implant that you can unlock free. There's no RNG. You just finish the directive and then you get the implant. So, phylactery.
Phylactery.
Yeah, see, I'm the one that...
This is a complicated word to say.
What is that? It sounds
What is
nerdy.
a phylactery?
So a phylactery is something from classic Dungeons and Dragons. For those of you who don't know, we're all huge nerds. Classic Dungeons and Dragons, one of the big bad monsters is a lich. It's an undead wizard, and they are immortal. If you kill them, they show back up in like 1d4 days, like so 1 to 4 days. But if you manage to find the phylactery that they have, that each lich has, where they have stored their soul, they have hidden it away, and destroy it, then they are gone for good. So in the spirit of that, we have an implant that will resurrect you when you are dead under certain circumstances.
So the phylactery implant, yeah, again, like Paul said here, I'm gonna cheat it real quick. It will allow you to hold on.
/hour 8, so that you're on the same visual time as he is.
Actually, why don't we do?
Or you can do the server time.
Let's do /0. Oh,
0?
wait. Yeah, 0.
Yeah. There you go.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a little darker. We're on Esamir. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
they're going to
so-
switch to me?
So the phylactery implant.
At some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can go to the next screen here. So if you see me, my
Spooky
pumpkin head
pumpkin
here, Now, the way that Phylactery works, please don't kill me yet.
Please
come, please. The way that Phylactery works is that if you gain a number of experience ticks, so not the amount of experience, a number of ticks, it allows you to self-revive once the Phylactery is charged. So right now it's 50, and that's an easy tuning knob that we can move back and forth through. The intention is actually, so with ticks, we can make it so like support classes are generally going to be able to find this implant more useful than people who are just killing people. So we wanted to add something that wasn't just killing, and triggers on that. So yeah, we're going to show it off right here. Yeah, so you see I get this. I'm so spooky.
He's activated.
Yeah, I'm activated.
So you can tell visually when someone has this.
Yep. So spooky.
That's so get up closer.
So okay, sorry. I'll stop moving.
So he's got these little poofs going on. Spooky poofs.
I'm
and then, yeah, you can go ahead and answer that question right now. Did they get to keep it after the event?
Yes, you do.
Yes,
you do. Don't kill him yet.
Okay, don't kill you?
Well, hold on, just a moment. Yeah, he wants to so bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like this karma.
I don't get to kill Rel that often.
Yeah. So the revive implant. Do we get to keep it after the Night of the Living Dead? Yes, we do. And after the fact, we are going to be. Damn it, say it. After, like, what happens to the implant?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go for it.
So after the implant is when Halloween, the event is over. We're going to return it to the drop table, so anybody can continue to RNG for it. But right now, this represents the opportunity for you to just get it. Get it. No RNG.
Go through the directives, play the fun Halloween stuff, and you are guaranteed to get it.
Yep.
For show.
Otherwise,
all right.
after that, you'll have to.
All right.
All right. So, bam. Oh yeah. So.
Oh man, that is so spooky.
So, you know, because he's got this effect going on him that he can revive. So.
Yep. So you just wait and just chilling there.
And he gets it, and he's back, and he's back. And this time he'll stay dead.
Oh my god.
So he comes back with half health.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to kill one of these people once they're down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's sort of how that implant works. We're probably gonna make some more adjustments to it.
Yeah.
We haven't hasn't completed testing yet.
From the player with the implant, essentially you get a revive request from yourself, and you click yes, no, just like you would if someone else was reviving you before. So it's pretty straightforward.
And while the implant is active, actually, there's a little. We're gonna work on the messaging a little bit better, but there is some ambient audio in the background to kind of let you know.
Spooky.
It's not that spooky yet, but
it's going to be very.
I want it to be spooky. Yeah,
we want it to be.
Yeah,
spooky.
we like spooky. And also, there's a particle effect that appears near your hand that kind of just shows you what's up. So
let you know it's active.
Yeah. Now, outside of free stuff that you can get for free if you play the game, we're gonna do some stuff that's a little bit more difficult to get.
Okay.
So, if you, I'm gonna revive and stab Nick in the face. Nope, just kidding.
I'm on your team now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well then, so we have created some
interesting effects.
Yeah. Let's see. So on Nick's screen, you can see. No, you're already on Nick's screen. You're good.
Yep.
You can see the flaming tires here. And these are our Flame Rider effects. They take up the light slot in your vehicle customization, and this is going to be available for the Harasser and the Flash.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, look at that icon. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah,
that's
really
so nice.
cool.
I don't know who did that. That's crazy. But yeah, so it takes up the light slot. Traditionally, the light slot doesn't get all that much play, but I think with this, it's kind of new effect. I think people will dig on it. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, chat? I know, right?
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. And I mean, it's a new thing for us, having particle effects, on the wheels, and this is only going to be available during the Halloween season. You can use it all year round. You just have to be able to unlock it. It's actually going to be unlockable by pumpkin seeds if you so desire, though that does take a little bit of grinding. Or you can buy it outright with Daybreak Cash. So yeah, and you got the Harasser variant there. It's very Nicolas Cagey.
Vengeance will be had on these wheels.
Yeah, not too bad. And the Harasser player's gonna dig on that.
It's the spirit of the season.
Yeah. And in the future, we can do some other fun stuff like contrails for ESF or flying vehicles in general, and then maybe some Tron-style light beams. I know Nick was kind of interested in that.
Yes.
Yeah, we could do some fun faction stuff in the future.
Some fun, cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to
The end.
the end?
The end of days.
The end
Okay.
of days.
Let's let me get something ready on my screen here. And so you don't have to be fast on this one, people. So when it pops up, like you don't need to like freak out about it. But basic, okay. So let's get
We're
it on
good to
my
switch?
screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're. Oh wait, how did that happen? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh boy.
Oh
so
dear.
That was good, actually.
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
we're doing. I got the slide. This slideshow thing is just not working out for me. There we go.
I got you.
No, let's keep it on that.
Nah, I got you.
You know how to pause it?
Yeah.
By hitting pause.
Yeah, well, you know.
Is that because you're a coder?
Listen, I'm a Windows power user.
Yeah. Yeah, they were giving me trouble about using the Windows key earlier today.
So
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
when the
Never.
game comes back on, which should be soon, hopefully.
yeah.
We
finish
have a
batching.
code for everyone to redeem.
Mhm.
So this is the a promotional code that everyone can enter once for your account, and it will give you access to a Platinum NSX Tonto, which you can see here on the screenshot, as well as a Platinum salvaged compound helmet.
Yeah.
And just those two things, but they're both
it's got
featured.
some pretty sweet particle effects coming out the eyes.
Yeah, yeah, which I can't not make the noise every time I see the sparks shoot out, but it does look pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And so, yeah, we're going to be, feel free to spread this to your friends, and we're hoping that you like some free stuff.
Yeah, I like free stuff. You like free stuff?
I like playing video games, and I
Oh.
like it when video games like give me stuff.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the Louis C.K. skit where he's like, but it's not bacon. Like,
Bacon.
you don't,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Okay, well, look it
I
up.
did have
look
bacon
it up.
for lunch.
So should we,
A little bit jealous.
we'll finish up there, and yeah. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the live stream today. We hope you like what we're working on, and we're looking forward to getting feedback from you guys on all these changes. Yeah, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you. Oh, wait, let's answer some questions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How
Oh, man.
How much time do we
Sorry.
have left? We have,
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and should we kick it off from the top there?
Yeah. I don't know. I'll let you handle it.
Yeah. So one of the questions earlier, must have been way earlier in the stream, is anything to prevent players from jumping to the winning faction right before it ends. So a couple of things. The first is that ISO rewards, the rewards that you get for the alerts end, scale based on the time spent participating. So 100% participation would be the 30 minutes that you're going to see the alert run. And if you switch factions, obviously it's not 100% anymore, so that's going to scale down. Also, there is a minimum amount of time required to have spent in the alert in order to get items. So any of the item drops that you would get if the continent locks, you have to have spent at least half of the time. And actually some of the items that are kind of hidden in there require more time to have been spent to actually get some of that sweet loot basket loots.
I'll take the next one. So PS4, when implants come to PS4, it will be all of the implants that we've released on PC so far. So yeah, you don't need to wait for all of these various implants. We're not going to be releasing them in waves, and we'll be very interested to see how that feels differently on the PS4 than it does on the PC. But yeah, that's what we were planning on doing.
To double back real quick about the preventing people from jumping on
Oh,
and off.
yes.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
yeah. We have more strict population balance control now. Yeah, that whole system was completely redone. So now players who jump onto the overpopulated faction within, I think it's set to 6% right now. So between the highest and the lowest, not doing the runner-up thing. Highest and lowest, 6%. If that disparity is more than that, you're going to sit in the VR training and then have to queue up for the continent. And
So if the top faction is too large,
Right.
essentially anyone who's trying to get into that zone, they are either put into the VR training if there's no other place for them to go, or and then they would have to go into the faction queue to wait their turn, wait for the other factions to catch up. And again, the purpose of this is to have a more balanced fight, to sort of keep things a little bit more competitive between the groups.
Yeah, and we're at the point where I think most players nowadays, at least in the higher ends, the ones that would know to switch factions, they know better to do that. Also, they have alt characters, so they're going to these other factions isn't going to be so difficult. But we're gonna watch that. 6% might be too stringent, but we're gonna check and keep an eye on it. We can adjust
another
that pretty
knob
easy.
we can tune.
For sure. Yeah. What else we got?
Let's see. So, any plans for new Auraxis directives?
Why not? Why not? Sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I want to continue supporting new and fresh experiences in all of the events that we do, and Auraxis is one of the best ones. And we don't have any plans right now, obviously, from how we're reacting, but we will come up with something, and it will be cool.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Well,
that top one's pretty
will
good.
the Empire that triggers the alert, are they the only one that's going to get rewards?
So rewards come in two different varieties. The first of which is just ISO currency, and ISO is the currency in which you upgrade implants with, and you can also roll implants.
You can get implants through it.
Right. Yeah. And that happens regardless of what faction you're a part of.
Each faction gets that, and that's again based on whether how much participation you had on the alert. If you were there the whole time, you get full points.
And also the rank at which you place during the alert. So if you had the most territory, even if you weren't the one that's going to lock the continent, if you had the most territory, you're going to get the highest, or you're going to get a high reward, opposed to if you just had the least amount of territory. But the items are only, you have to trigger the alert, and you have to win the alert. That's where the pressure is. So that gives us the opportunity to give out cool, fun, free stuff.
If your faction locks the continent, and the only way you can do that is by triggering the alert and then defending your territory. If you lock the continent, that's when you get the cosmetic items.
Yep. Otherwise, you get ISO.
Everyone gets ISO, but the cosmetic
ISO 2. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
ISO as well as the cosmetic if you lock the continent.
Yep.
So let's see. Does the revive implant work with Max? No. You cannot equip it on a Max, but we should have more Max-specific implants in the future. That'll be more fun.
Cool. Oh, that's a good question. When will the Nanite of the Living Dead event start and end?
Do we want to tell them?
Yeah, let's hold off on that one.
Okay.
But
yeah, if anything goes wrong and we can't patch in time, you're just gonna blame me for telling you the date. So yeah, so we'll chill on that for a little bit, but we'll definitely announce it when we get closer to the date there.
And the welcome back promo account. So that is that welcome back promo code, that is account wide. So every character you create after entering this code will always be granted those 2 items.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, free shiny stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell your friends.
Yep. All right.
I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay. Well, so thank you everybody for coming to the live stream today. I can officially end the live stream now. And thank you for your questions, and thank you for your feedback, and the people who showed up to the PTS test. That was incredibly helpful.
Incredibly helpful.
Yes.
We got it was so helpful having so many people involved, and it's always so much fun.
And the helmets that we're going to do the helmet grant probably later this week.
So we've kept track of everyone who's been in there, and we're going to get you your lovely analyst helmet.
Right, and we do want to get a new reward in the future because, again, just like this should be a recurring theme right now, but we're throwing away a lot of the old stuff. Or I shouldn't say throwing it away, but kind of putting it on hold.
Yeah, shelving it for now.
Yeah, giving you more opportunities to earn new stuff. So that's kind of where we're sitting.
Most people who are interested in the helmet probably have the helmet
They probably
already.
have it.
But we'll pull it out again someday.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. And see you out on the battlefield.